sometimes as the lesser flamingo or pink flamingo. March is also the time of the year when hundreds of off-road drivers and riders, known to their friends as crazy, migrate to the same area for the first off-road national of the year, the Baberspan 500. Morning of the 20th of March, and race headquarters at the Baberspan Hotel becomes a parking lot to some weird and wonderful machinery. Among the specials, Bruce Carolyn in his now pink raceco. Klaus Degener in his King Scorpion, billed as the only single-seater strong and wild enough to give the big four-wheel drive trucks a run for their money. The two-seater specials pose strong competition. Don Vale and Gavin Orble in the immaculate GRE Air Spider. Jack Spencer moves into the class in the company of Steve Vermaak. Richard Schilling and Jürgen Hartl now in a reworked Panzerwagen, and Derek Pinoy with Jack Purchase in their Chernow. Interesting changes also apparent amongst the trucks. Andre Koch, now without the aid of four-wheel drive. All smiles for Hannes Grobler, here to defend his run of wins achieved last year. Double gas shocks at the back end are but one of the many improvements made to the Safari, which now enjoys full Nissan factory sponsorship. Looking good, the vehicle stands proud, dressed in the official Nissan colors. The Toyota dealer team has no fewer than 4 vehicles entered in 3 classes. Interest is drawn to Philip Milan's turbocharged Land Cruiser, now with navigator John Angus. Privately entered Johan Steenkamp with Leon Gebert. Tony Pond is the ace tucked up the Toyota team's sleeve and has no fewer than 27 international rally victories to his name. Although new to off-road racing, Pond has seen 14 years of professional driving, spanning 12 countries and 9 racing teams. He will be directed by Springbok rally navigator Richard Leake. 95 motorcycles have entered the event, and to choose a sure winner would be an impossible task. Jeremy Davies on his 500cc KTM is extremely fit and certainly strong enough to guide the big machine to victory. Seen here with Saki Neeman, Jeremy has help and guidance from Springbok brother Mark Davies, winner of this event last year. The Durban-based Brute Yamaha team total 3 riders, Gavin Nimmo, Hilton Beattie and Alfie Cox. Hilton and Alfie are fitness fanatics, both having done well in the recent Doozy Canoe Marathon. The pair crave victory, and with each having a very good chance, it's all wheelies and smiles for the Yamaha boys. Keeping his cool has always been easy for KTM rider Willie Ireland, but today he uses the hotel pool to escape the scorching heat and dust. As the vehicles line up at the resort, ready to move to the start at Leeuwpan, we get a chance to see the 85-kilometer course the competitors will have to take. From the start-finish, the route follows an anti-clockwise direction through the mealie fields and farmlands of Bophuthatswana. With 5-second intervals, clerk of the course John Salters sends them on the way. Today's section is a race against the clock, the results of which determine the starting time for Saturday's long 438-kilometer route. Local cattleman Andre Koch doing some cowboy driving to the finish line. Being early in the season, this race becomes the long-awaited test for many of the competitors. Some must shake down completely new machines, while for others, aching muscles and out-of-shape bodies prove to be the problem. The area around the finish line becomes a gathering of competitors, some delighted with their performance, and the many others with some or other hard luck story. BT and his Yamaha work as one and clock in at a time of 52 minutes and 34 seconds. Willie Ireland will start 22 seconds later, ahead of Russell White, Alfie Koch, Kenny Williams, Gavin Nemo, Jake Alberts, and well off the mark in 8th place, Jeremy Davies. Nissan and Toyota fill 4 of the top 5 placings, with Derek Pinoy and Jack Purchase well and truly sandwiched between the big 4x4 trucks. Fuel starvation problems put paid to the pond threat, as the turbocharged Land Cruiser starts in 58th place, 10 minutes off the pace. Under threatening skies, stillness settles over Leopon, and the flamingos peacefully roost for the night, unaware of the 6:30 early morning start. As the glow of the dawn slowly shows on the eastern horizon, Grobler and Milan await their starting orders.
Ons kan nie klaar as die voor wegtrek nie. Die voertuig het gister baie goed gedra, so hier na 'n klein probleempie gehad en wat ons gisterand uitgesorteer het. Maar ons hoop net vir die beste vandag, want dit is waar die dinge gaan gebeur. Dis 'n lang pad vorentoe, 400 amper 500 kilometers en dit is heel wat langer as gister.
Ja nee, ons het lekker gery gister en dit was interessant met al die Land Cruiser wat daar saam met ons gery het, maar ons het dit baie geniet.
As the Land Cruiser powers off into the dawn, Grobler's safety light is just a glow across the pan. Third away, the twin-seater of Pinoy and Purchase. Followed by the RP Reinecker Safari and Steenkamp's Land Cruiser. After circumnavigating the pan, the competitors head northwest, looping north to Setlagole, still heading north towards Houtbos. Soon, they swing east on a long, dry section to the refuel point. Heading home, the route swings south through Heathview, across the mealie fields and the finish. As we catch the leading cars, it's the red and white Toyota of Milan and Angus that heads the pack. News is that the Grobler Swanepoel Safari has had electrical problems, leaving them stranded only 20-odd kilometers from the start. Milan seems to be playing musical trees as he picks up a marker and corrects his course. Only seconds behind the leader, Johan Steenkamp's Land Cruiser holds second place, with the Chinook of Derek Pinoy sitting only seconds off the Toyota tailgate. Pinoy is happy to just follow the Toyota. With years of experience riding motorcycles, Derek knows the value of a light foot and a cool head. The height of the Land Cruiser gives Leon Joubert a distinct navigation advantage. So, by watching the big 4x4, Derek can pick and choose the smooth route. Nearing Setlagole, the order remains. First, Milan and Angus. Second, Steenkamp and Joubert. Third, Pinoy and Purchase. And fourth, Reinecker and Dreyer. At the Setlagole checkpoint, Milan turns right and loses valuable seconds to the cat and mouse race behind him. At a cattle kraal, later into the route, the big Toyota battles with its wide turning circle. And the cheeky Pinoy slips his little car through the gate ahead of the frustrated Milan. Johan Steenkamp must make the same round trip. Oh, 8:30, and the colourful two-wheeler warriors prepare to do battle. First off, Hilton Beatty on his Yamaha. Followed by Willie Island. Friday's results have spread the field out by almost half an hour. One by one, the riders start set free into the grueling 440-kilometre route. Some kilometres away, the lead has reverted to Toyota. Chin out. Toyota. The menacing shape of the Reineke-Dreyer Nissan holds forth. Klaus Degener, now fifth, has made up 22 positions, having started the race in 27th spot. Ex-biker Mervyn Woods slides his Volkswagen Barger through the bends. And behind him, Beatty and Ireland have turned the fight for first place into a full-scale motocross race. At the Houtbos control, Reineke slides the Safari off the road into the fence. Giving Johan Steenkamp the chance to steal back the hard-fought for third place. It takes Lucas some minutes to free the barbed wire, and valuable minutes are lost. Only minutes separate the first 5 vehicles through the Houtbos control. The pace is quick, with the average speed at about 95 kilometers an hour. Although halfway through the section, the leading competitors are giving very little away. Klaus Degener is the first to fall victim to a new threat, the charging Land Cruiser of Tony Pond. As Toyota 602 pulls into the service area, the unknown entity of Tony Pond and Richard Leake seems to be mounting as a real threat. Philip and John can afford to waste no time, and the Toyota factory rally crews spring into action to get the Land Cruiser back on the route again.
Graham, can you pass the other tank?
The service point is situated well over the halfway mark, and from here, the route via Heathview is expected to be smooth and fast to the finish.
2 ouens het gewoon zo gewaai. Een is zo heeltemal in die bos gestaan. Maar is daar dit dan?
Right, wat nog?
Nog altijd.
Ja, maar nog altijd.
Nog altijd.
Zeker dat het
Nog altijd. Ik heb nie aanhouding nou gehad.
Jullie doen nog nooit keer.
Only minutes later, and the Land Cruiser is on its way. Next in is Derek Pinoy's Chenouth. Help comes from all directions in an effort to keep the little special safely in second spot.
Find out.
RP Reinecker has retaken third position and with his long-range fuel tanks can afford to bypass his petrol Bowser. For most, it's defuel and refuel. But for others, the stop looks to be a bit more expensive. Back with the leaders, the route conditions are dry and sandy. Riverbeds normally flowing in mid-March pose no threat to the competitors, and the pace hots up even more. Having made up more than an hour on the leading cars, Hilton Beatty retains his lead. There are 4 refuel points for the bikes, and this service point serves only as a refreshment stop. Now in second spot, Alfie Cox on the bigger 500cc Yamaha. Jake Alberts on a Kawasaki holds third. Heat view area, and the pace is starting to tell. Milan still leads. Reinecker is up in second spot, followed by Pinoy. In fourth place and charging, the Works Land Cruiser of Tony Pond, and that from starting 58th. Kevin Tebbett pushes Cox and Alberts down a place, with Andy Smythe on the third Yamaha lying 5th. Nearing the pan, Milan and Angus have the finish in their sights, although still unaware of the charge by Pond, now lying second. At last the finish line, and the Toyotas are full 25 minutes ahead of the expected time of arrival. What's it like being out in front all the time? You seem to make a habit of this.
Well, it's a hard situation because you are pacing. And somebody behind you, it's far more enjoyable to pace somebody like us pacing harness. It's really very nice to have a professional out in front.
What about leading the pack as far as navigating goes, Jon?
That's a job.
Yeah, well, it's not very much of a problem because obviously navigation, even if you are following someone, is, it's a very important task. And so you're actually addressing your navigation sheets all the time. I don't find it a big problem to be out in front. In fact, I find it very enjoyable.
But disaster for the winners. A marshal at Setlagole has reported the Land Cruiser for racing with no safety light, an infringement that carries a 15-minute penalty. This drops Milan and Angus to 5th position overall, promoting Pond and Leek to 1st place, followed by Reinecker and Dreyer, Pinoy and Purchase, and Klaus Degener in his King Scorpion. Bruce Carolyn doing well after starting the race 31st, but all credit to the Pond Leek duo, who have pulled off a miracle win.
We really went from the word go today. We just drove it flat out as you drive a rally car, just hang the consequences.
So what about your future commitments in the country with off-road racing?
Well, I hope to be doing nearly all the series, and I'm looking forward to it. If this is what they're all going to be like, then it's a wonderful sport.
What about the event today, Richard?
It was a good event, and as Tony says, there was something of everything. The route was fairly easy to follow earlier on when we were behind so many cars. As one got up closer to the front, it started getting a bit vague. And there were 2 or 3 times that we were wondering quite where we are.
And a report back on the Toyota here today?
Oh, I just think it's just unbelievably strong. We've thrown so much at it, we've given it such a bad time, and it's got here, so it must be good.
Mervyn Woods crosses the line with only 3 wheels remaining, keeping 7th place by just 10 seconds from Carolyn. Fastest over racing section 2 is competitor 601 Tony Pond and Richard Leake in a winning time of 5 hours, 47 minutes and 58 seconds. Club team honours go to Off-Road Motor Club Transvaal with Derek Pinoy and Jack Purchase, Klaus Degener, Philip Milan and John Angus. Toyota take the manufacturer's team honours with 3 Land Cruisers in the top 6 placings. 601 Pond and Leake, 602 Milan and Angus, 604 Steenkamp and Joubert. An outstanding achievement. Hilton Beattie wins the race, having led the motorcycle class from start to finish on the 250cc Yamaha.
Now, you're very pleased because you've been trying for a long time for this.
Oh, to be honest, it's been some time, you know. Well, I haven't won a big race yet, you know. I've been knocking at the door, and everything came together today. So
the old age hasn't crept on too much, eh?
not yet. I'll probably be back again next year.
And the bike, let's have a report on the bike.
The bike was just fantastic. It never missed a beat. The only problem I had, I ran off the road behind a car about 50 k's back, and I hit a tree which broke the disc brake off, and I didn't have any front brakes for the last 40 or 50 k's. So I was a bit worried because I didn't know if there was anyone close behind me because I had to slow up a bit. Yeah. But otherwise the bike was 100%.
Kevin Tibbett retains the 2nd place he took from Cox.
How's it? Oh, racing is lekker fun, eh?
How was it?
How come you passed him and you couldn't give up? Where? Oh, it was too much work.
the refuel?
Man. It was too much work for me, man.
Is it?
Just train this. But, here comes number 3.
Alfie finishes 3rd, having suffered with a blocked fuel filter in the last half of the race.
Hallo, Bru.
You still pushed me, eh?
Well done, good. It was last,
Of the top 10 riders, Nimmo, Williams and Van Altena rode 175cc machines. Beattie, Van Molke and Alberts were on 250s, and Cox, Tebbit, Smythe and Niemann were on machines larger than 250cc. So, Hilton wins sections 1 and 2. Off-Road Motor Club Natal win club honours with Hilton, Alfie and Gavin Nimmo, while Yamaha take the manufacturer's trophy. The 1987 Castrol Baberspan 500, a well-organised event with 3 worthy winners.